First You Think is a not-for-profit ministry of the First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. Support us at ucdsm.org today.
A few weeks ago, I sat down to find some words of courage for the packets on our monthly theme. When I first sat down, I couldn't think of anything to say. What stories, after all, do I have to tell about being brave? I don't have any stories to tell about saving people from burning buildings or marching on the front lines of protest. I couldn't think of anything I had done that felt exceptionally courageous. The truth is, I rarely feel like a brave person. But I do often feel afraid, and I know you do too. I feel afraid for the future we are wittingly and unwittingly preparing for our children. I feel afraid for the future of our faith and what ministries our future will require. I feel afraid that I will go to the grocery store after work in a dress and someone else will decide that my luck has run out. And yet, I wear a dress to and from work, grateful for my gender. I minister to our faith's present while I imagine its future. I take as many steps as I can to make our present world a place fit for her future inhabitants. And I do it scared to take a piece of wisdom I've found on the internet. I may not feel brave most of the time, you see, but I see, reflecting with you now, that I am a persistent person, if nothing else, no matter how afraid I feel. However afraid, I try my best to be present with my fear and discomfort and not to flinch away from it. It's one thing for me to be vulnerable and stand here before all of you and say I am persistent and I am present and maybe even brave. But that leaves something crucial unsaid, which is that I am none of these things on my own. However afraid I may be, there are people who love me, principles that guide me, and practices that ground me so that I can face the world even though I tremble. I remember how afraid I was when I began stewarding our faith formation and congregational life ministries 2 years ago. Honored, delighted, excited, and also very afraid. I was afraid that I had bitten off more than I could chew. I thought I could not possibly live up to all the dreams and hopes of our people as we stumbled out of a pandemic lockdown into a new world, strange and yet familiar. I felt like any idea I had of what this ministry would contain was vanishing. But as those old ideas and fears rooted in old ideas began to vanish, they opened up room in me to embrace new ideas, new possibilities. That did not happen alone. Our people and their gifts and wisdom eased those fears, and I joined so many of you, our lay leaders, to dream and design new ways of being together. So many of you are in this room today, and I want to take stock of all our gifts and generosity. If you taught our children and youth in these last 2 years, please stand or raise your hand. I know you're out there. If you led your peers in adult programming, in small groups and classes and book studies, please stay standing also if you would. If you have led your peers, please stand or raise your hand. If you welcomed someone new this year, please stand or raise your hand. If you cared for or about anyone in this community, please stand or raise your hand. I know that's got to be, there's at least one person here you all care about, each of you. Just look at us. Look at us. Look at all of the love, all the care, all the gifts of this community. Please give yourselves a hand, a hug, a handshake. We could not be as brave as we have been without one another. I keep returning to all of these great gifts that have helped me, that have helped us face the world scared and embrace the world and each other anyway. And so I know we will all be okay when we part ways soon, however afraid we may be. In our story earlier this morning, a little leaf was afraid of change. I love to say that however much I love and long for change, but I won't lie and tell you that I'm not afraid of it. If you have ever changed jobs or changed schools, watched your body change, or watched your relations change, and I know all of you have experienced something like this, you know that whatever amount of intellectual excitement, if that's something you have, that change brings you, it also brings a measure of fear and trepidation with it. So it was with our little yellow leaf. Our little friend was so resistant to change that they would not let go of their branch, of their same old life, no matter what happened around them. It was not until they realized that they were not alone that they could let go. It was another leaf, scarlet red, who helped them find the courage to change, to face the unknown that lay ahead of them. So who will our little scarlet leaves be? Chances are they are somewhere here in this room beside you. Your leaves might be the person sitting next to you, or they might be in a classroom downstairs, or watching us from home, or still tucked gently into bed where you left them. They have gifts to share with you, and you have gifts to share with them as well. And when the time comes to make this leap, I know these gifts will empower you to go. I know that faith will be here beside you as well when I am not. She has many gifts, and you have so much of yourselves to share with her, to share with the other staff and leaders of this community, to share with one another. As for myself, my leaves will blow away with me wherever the wind will take me. They are my spouse, Dylan. They are my friends and colleagues in formation to become ministers as I am. They are my teachers and my mentors. Though we say goodbye for now, I know the gifts we share with one another will carry us into bravery and courage. Thank you all.